So Archer Aviation is gearing up to disrupt air travel, but here's some of the twist of this company. Most people aren't talking about this, but they have a big partnership with Anduril, which isn't just about the air taxis anymore. It could make Archer a major player in military aviation and unlock some massive potential with government contracts, which we're already seeing them start to sign with Air Force. So this is a company we're going to break down. I'm going to break down exactly what this means for you as an investor, kind of the market, your potential analysis that you want to look at, and the profit in the near future. Now, guys, I'm revealing my virtual stock trading system later today to my email list. And all we have to do is get my last video on Big Bear AI to 200 likes. And that's a stock we've been covering for a while, Big Bear AI. And in my last video, say if we get it to 200 likes, then we'll share our virtual stock trading system publicly here on YouTube, not just to our email list. So if you'd like to see that, just hit the like button on this video and the last video. Let's get into it. So Archer Aviation, we see that they were just at $2 a share towards late 2024, pushed up to $12 a share. So basically a 6x on the stock. And you can see that they had this kind of resistance start to play before selling off. We could maybe tie that into this new trend that's starting to develop as we mapped out just a few minutes ago. You can see that it's been getting rejected at this rising resistance here. And also it's been using this level here as a support. Started to see it validate this support during the week, definitely a few times during the week, and then started to push up. It's interesting now because the level that it's out at a little bit on Friday is this resistance level. And this is a resistance it's notoriously been getting rejected at. It's even gotten rejected before that over there. And it got a little rejected on Friday, but it actually used it as a support. So it's possible that it continues up, and now it's going to continue this trend from here to here. And that'd be about a 20% increase. What could absolutely happen as well is a sell down here to about 10 to 12% on this previous support if it doesn't just absolutely continue this trend in between the support and resistance. So we'll be watching it at market open if you guys want to be there. Stockmate, second link down below. But let's get into the market growth of this company. So Archer Aviation, you guys can see they have these nice eVTOLs. They are electric VTOLs, and they are kind of in the civilian residential, but also in the military industries. And one of the interesting things about this company is they have their own stock chart on their website. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool to look at. You can see some of their charts on the website. So I like how they give you that. When you get into the overview of the company, they have some big contracts that they've recently got. So you can see some of their financial results. We actually were taking a look at some of those already. But one of the things you want to look at, this is Palmer Luckey's defense tech company. Anduril will make next-gen military aircraft with Archer. So Anduril was Palmer Luckey's, it's a company that's owned by Palmer Luckey. And Palmer Luckey was the founder of Oculus, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's been around in this industry as an innovator, and now he's getting to the point where he has a military-based company. He's a defense contractor. And you can see Archer also announced a new funding round of $450 million. I believe that was a mix of BlackRock, a mix of, let's see, Stellantis, United Airlines as well. And that's actually another funding round. So you kind of look at that they're getting a lot of funding, hundreds of millions of dollars. And you ask yourself, why are they getting so much funding? What's the reason for this? Well, while Archer praised the FAA providing clear direction on what is required for safe operation of eVTOL aircrafts in the U.S., they're also, and they're in the military, but they're also looking at air taxis. Now, maybe that it says sometimes misidentified by mainstream media as flying cars. They're essentially helicopters without the noisy pollution gas motors. They're electric, and this is something that you can see potentially make its way into some mainstream aviation. So that's maybe why you have United Airlines invested there. And then Anduril is a military technology company founded by the Oculus. So there it is. Oculus creator Luckey makes surveillance and reconnaissance tech as well as military drones. This is interesting, guys. We are kind of in the military side of things on the channel. We got a lot of things on quantum, AI, space companies, but we're kind of looking at something that's fairly impacted by military. And you can look at some of the funding that's going into this company. They don't have a lot of like positive net cash flow or anything like that, but you could look at their aviation raises 300 million in a BlackRock backed funding. You can see that. Air taxi maker Archer Aviation said on Tuesday they had raised 300 million in a funding round with BlackRock, and BlackRock also brought in some other institutional investors that are managed by BlackRock. And so that's indication that you have more of a validation of the company from large institutional investors, and they see potential in the company. And so, there's other companies where they have these VTOLs and you don't actually know if they're real. Like they have maybe a AI generated look and you're like, is that real? Is it out? I think a good example, if we go over to aviation, was XTIA. If you go to XTI and you look at their company, and they have, I think it's a VTOL. I don't know if it's electric VTOL, but everything's kind of like computer generated for their look. And it's kind of like, it's all cool and stuff, but like, is it legit? I don't see that here with Archer. I see legit photos and multiple details about the VTOLs, and they seem to be working. I'm not sure at what extent they have deployed them, but they have some commercial launch plans coming in the future. One of the commercial launch plans that they have is going to be, we're still in the fundamentals here, flying taxis on the horizon as aviation soars into a new frontier. This is according to AP News. San Francisco, when he was still making a long, tedious trips between school and Woodsea Mountains during the 1980s, Joe Ben Bevirt began fantasizing about flying cars that could whisk him to his destination. CEO of Joby Aviation, getting closer to turning. Okay, so that's Joby. And you can see VTOL. Let's see what else we got. Archer Aviation, a Silicon Valley company backed by automaker Stellantis and United Airlines, has been testing its own electric VTOLs over farmland in Salinas, California, where a prototype called Midnight could be seen gliding above tractor plowing fields last November. So you can see they're already testing them. They're using them. There's a partnership, Archer Aviation, ties with aerospace and Boeing, okay, as well as Google co-founder Larry Page. They're also at the forefront in the race to bring air taxis to the market in the United States. Joby's already formed a partnership to connect its air taxis with Delta Air line passengers, and Archer Aviation has lined up a deal to sell up to 200 of its aircrafts to United Airlines. So these are things that you look at and you say, that's good news, or that could play a role in the growth of this company. And so they have that partnership with some of these mainstream companies. But also, we looked at their financials and I dove in. It's not like the prettiest. They got a lot of investment money. We're looking for more of a revenue, and we'd like to see more of the income start to look a little bit better. You see that income there, negative 450 million, and some of the operating expenses that are up there. And so you're buying what could be with the company, right? But when you look at some of their articles that have come out, I believe it was Anduril, which is one of the ones, a $142 million contract here that they got with the U.S. Air Force. So now they're kind of in Department of Defense, expanded its partnership with DoD by signing new contracts with the U.S. Air Force. And they're in the U.S. military side of things. If they're with Anduril, they're most likely going to be looking in that more of the U.S. military space. And so just keep that in mind. Kind of gets you thinking. You can see some of the board includes retired General Steve Townsend, retired 3-star lieutenant, and some of these other military figures. And the views expressed are those of the author that do not necessarily reflect official policy or position of the Department of Air Force, the Department of Defense, or the U.S. government. So you got to keep that in mind. But when we look at this, I have an uncle that's in Jordan, in the Middle East, and He's talking about, and he's a colonel, retired colonel, and now he kind of runs this segment of overlooking some of the air bases out there, and looking at the Suez Canal and how the shipping's taking place, and there's some shipping wars, some trade wars out there, and drones are becoming kind of a thing, like drones from enemies, and then defense against drones, and there's kind of its own war out there that's happening, and it's happening. And so he was telling me about how drones most likely will play a key role, or aerial aircraft innovation, especially with AI. And so with this partnership with Air Force and Anduril, they're kind of mixing AI with their aircraft. It's electronic, but then also here with Air Force, it's a big thing to look at. So lots of stuff to look at in the market of the military as well as mainstream market. And I think that that's going to play a key role for Archer Aviation. You can see that they're starting to recover here a little bit, and at this key level, I would expect them to sell off a little bit. We'll see if they just take off up to this level at market open, which could happen, or if they're going to sell down, dip a little bit before pushing up. I do think they've got a tremendous amount of momentum and potentially aren't done. I think if this thing goes the way that they're headed, the market they'd be capitalizing on would most likely bring them in billions of dollars in net income. And I believe that to be true. So there's buying what could be. There's risk involved, absolutely. Some of these swings we've seen have been 10, 20% in a day. So it's actually one that I most likely would be trading. And if I was holding any long term, it'd be a very small amount. But we'll see if any opportunities present themselves at market open in some of these dips. If you'd like to be there at market open, Stockmate, the second link down below. Would love to have you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more stocks like this or have any that you'd like me to cover, leave them in the comment section. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.